The School Boards Association has defined the role of the school board as focusing on budget, policy, hiring, and supervising the superintendent. In light of that given role, how do you envision working with district administration?
Well, I know the district administrator. School budget, finances, how you spend your money is the number one role of the school board. They need to know personally all the money coming in and all the money going out on each line and how those numbers total up, how it got there. When I go out and look at the site, the website, you'll see a budget out there. But as a school board member, I'll be able to look at each one of those lines, say the O&M line, and tell you exactly what that's made up of. I think there can be improvements made in how this district is run. You need to run it as a school, kind of a quasi-government, but you need to run it as a business. I don't see it being done. We shouldn't be in the situation we're in. So, I don't want to condemn anybody because it's a tough job, but it can be done a lot better. Thank you.
So the question was, how do we see ourselves working with our administrator?
District administration.
District administration. Well, this has been a great opportunity. Working with them, I've always felt, and perhaps maybe I shouldn't have, but I've always felt like a colleague working with them. I felt very comfortable when I was first elected. The first week I was sitting down with Renee Raskin and asking her about our food service. And had we ever thought of contracting that out? And that must have been the right question to ask, because within 6 months, you know, we had a new food service so that we're in the black. I'm not an accountant, but I understand red. I've always felt comfortable going in and talking with Joe about different issues. When I've received letters from parents, when I've received phone calls, I felt comfortable going in and talking with Dave. I feel as though I'm not the one who is over them, but I'm the one who is working with them to help them implement the best school system possible. So I have felt more like a colleague rather than the person who is supervising everyone, although we do have that ultimate responsibility of supervising and reviewing the budget, approving policies, and approving financial decisions.
I have a little different view of the governing board. I don't see the governing board as having a collegial relationship with the administration. I see the governing board representing the taxpayers and the voters of the entire community and supervising the administration. I think the governing board, as a representative, as an elected representatives of the community, have that responsibility. So I think that's one of the problems that we've had, is we have too many people on the governing board who are simply shills for the teachers' unions and the administration and the establishment. I'm an outsider. I think we need to have more outsiders on our governing board. By not having outsiders on the governing board, that's what's got us with our backs to the walls. That's why we didn't do anything about these problems that were looming, all right? So I see a much more independent governing board. If I'm on the governing board, I'll have a much more aggressive stance towards supervising the administration.
Well, I'm very familiar with this kind of relationship. At my camp where I work with a board, executive board, and so I've done that for 20-some years. And so I understand the relationship between, in my case, an executive director of a camp and a camp board. And it's a very unique relationship. And I think there are healthy tensions that need to exist. And we're hearing kind of from both sides of that already at this point. I think that it has to take a team effort. I grew up playing football and basketball, and in those teams, everybody had to come together and work together. And so I think of myself as someone who can work with a lot of different kinds of people and listen well and try to implement everybody's ideas as best we can. There does need to be some tension that the governing board is the authority. That's very clear, and I think our administration understands that. So there's a tension between this sense of teamwork and working together and this authority that the board exercises when you're making policy decisions. So I think I could work well within that environment because I'm very familiar with it, with working with my camp board.